Hello, Oscillator Sync here, and welcome to a series of videos where we're going to be taking a look at the quite wonderful Vermona DRM-1 Mk.iii analog drum synthesizer. This is a wonderful drum synthesizer unit, and during the next few videos we're going to be taking a look at its features. We'll do a real deep dive into the synthesis engine, and of course we'll be listening to its great sounds. So to start off the series, I thought I'd just do an overview of what the DRM1 actually is. So the DRM1 is an 8-channel drum synthesizer, 8-voice if you like. Kind of like having 8-voice polyphony on an analog synth, except unlike an analog synth that you would play with the keys, each of the different voices here are optimized for doing a particular job. So we have a kick channel, which is sort of for the kick drums. We've got drum 1 and drum 2, which you kind of find your toms there. Multi is an interesting one. Woodblocks, cowbells kind of things might live there. Snare is your snare drums. 2 channels of hi-hat, but they can also do other sort of cymbal and metallic type sounds, and of course your clap channel. What I would say is that these labels here are more guidance than rules. With a bit of knob twisting, you can make your snare sound like a kick and your kick sound like a snare, and the drums sound like your kicks, and your hi-hats might sound like weird washy things, and your claps can do all sorts of stuff. Sound like sonar, for example. But we'll look at that a bit more when we start digging down into the synthesis engine. So each of the channels have 7 parameters which are optimized for that particular synthesis engine. They're different between the different channels. And then of course we have a pan control and a volume control. So you've basically got a stereo mixer here which drives the master outs, the left and right outs that sit on the back of the unit on 1/4-inch jack. As well as your master output, you've also got individual outs for each of the channels as well. You can also use these outputs as insert points if you want to affect a particular channel and still send it to the master out. And you can also use it to tap the output of the channel so that it's both going out of the individual out and the master output, which is great if you want to do like side chaining with the kick drum. So let's talk about one important thing about the DRM1. It is not a sequencer, so you do need to have another unit hooked up to it to actually fire off the sounds. You can also fire off the sounds by pressing those buttons there. But for my part, I'm using a BeatStep Pro from Arturia over MIDI. Now, it actually comes in a couple of different versions. One which only has MIDI, which is the version I've got, but you can also pick up the DRM1 with analog trigger inputs as well. So if you want to integrate it with other analog systems, maybe modular, that is an option. But one thing that's worth pointing out is that the trigger inputs, if you have them, aren't responsive to velocity, whereas the MIDI inputs are. So you do lose a certain level of expressiveness that you otherwise would have over MIDI. But if you are keen on integrating it with your analog setup, then that is an option. So that basically gives you a very high level overview of the Vermona DRM1. I hope you'll join me for some of the next few videos where we'll be taking a real deep dive into the synthesis engine that sits behind these various different channels. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos, and I'll see you then.